Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino coming at you again today with yet another video. And today we're going to do a little different. I haven't done one for a long while, but we're going to do a vinyl community contest entry, a little challenge here. We got Stylus Meets Vinyl. Chris from there is asking for a 7-continent challenge, around the world challenge, celebrating his 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So congratulations, Chris, for 1,000 subscribers. That's a great milestone. And yeah, really cool channel. I've been checking out a few of his videos. Really great guy. Got some Beatles stuff, some other stuff. Go check him out. Yep. Let's see what the rest of the contest is after the intro. So yeah, Chris from Stylus Meets Vinyl is asking for a round the world challenge, the 7-continent challenge, I guess. And there is a $100 Amazon gift card up for grabs, but it's Canadian Amazon, so but hey, it all works. So it's actually one of the biggest prizes I've seen out here on any of these challenges. So wow, thank you, Chris, for being generous on this with the contest on that. So, and sure to get a few good records off of that. So anyways, he's basically asked for celebrating around the world here, to do a little challenge and kind of show a record that represents each of the 7 continents around the world. So, and he said to be creative about it, and as I always do, I try to make it very Beatle-y, of course, being Beetle Dustino. So I try to figure out my Beatles connection with it as best I can, and I did fairly well on this. It was a little challenge on a couple of them trying to figure stuff out, but I got it figured out and worked out pretty good. And funny, on a couple of these that I even picked for the challenge, they could almost work for 2 or 3 different countries, or continents, I should say. And anyways, let's get going with this. So aside from showing the records, he does want to send some shout outs to some other fellow YouTubers in the vinyl community. Oh, yes. Also, his contest ends on December 21st. So about a month yet out from when you're seeing this, a little over a month. So you got a little ways on it. So if you want to enter, I believe you can leave a comment on his video or make a video on your own YouTube channel if you got your own YouTube channel. If you don't got your own YouTube channel, start one. This is a great way to start it. This is exactly how Beetle Dustino got started. I was responding to a vinyl community contest like this, so for Beatley Tone. So there we go. I'll kind of shout out Beatley Tone on this. So seeing as he wants some shout outs here. However, I did want to shout out a couple of newer Beatles centric YouTube channels I've recently discovered. The first one will be Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. A really fun, entertaining channel. It's kind of got that throwback. I was trying to think of the old kid show that he's kind of imitating. I'm thinking Pee-wee's Playhouse because of the Pop Playhouse and the title there, and Pee-wee kind of did some stuff like that on his show. That would be more my era, but I think there was stuff from other eras before that even that were kind of that style, but really kind of funny. Shows his Beatles collection, his albums, his paraphernalia, memorabilia, stuff like that. Really interesting stuff. The recent one that I watched was on in Matthew Street, another shout out there, was one that pointed him out on this one. It kind of your garbage, collectible garbage, what people would normally throw out, but to certain people is collectible. And I mean, that's anything in this. I think a lot of people would think CDs are junk. This whole rack here is probably junk. But I don't. This is treasured stuff for me, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this is treasured stuff too. So, but yeah, anyways, that was his topic on one of his most recent videos. A really fun channel, really great guy. Go check him out. Another one I just discovered, just kind of looking to see who all had the Living in the Material World boxes out, and items from the recent reissue that just came out, and I found a On Air My Beatles collection, new channel. It looks like he's only got a handful of videos out so far, so I just want to give little props out to somebody that I was just watching last night and was really entertained by, and just want to give him a little shout out and a little boost there. It looks like he just started out. His name's Charlie. Really great Beatles collection there, and he's having fun showing it, kind of like I do. So just want to give Charlie a good shout out there for On Air My Beatles collection. Go check him out. I'll have all these linked in my description too. Another one I'm going to shout out, I did mention Beatley Tone, Matthew Street. I got to always mention those guys that kind of got me going or kind of came up with me. So Beely Tone, Matthew Street. I really credit them, great for starting my channel here. Always me and Mr. Mayo, Beetle Brad, Beetle Dave, kind of started up right around the same time as me. I know he was one of my first commenters a lot, so I got to give you a good shout out there, Beetle Dave. Another one that I don't think gets a lot of mention, and I'm going to shout him out. I never hear him in these vinyl community videos, but Giggins. Great channel, very Beach Boys centric, but he is a big Beatles lover too and everything. And, his channel is just growing and growing, but it seems like he's kind of flies under the radar somehow. I don't understand it. He's got a big channel. I think he's got a very big following on the Beach Boys stuff. And he has a great, knowledge on Beach Boys records and stuff. Just amazing. And really fun channel. I've always enjoyed him. He was one I always watched before I got started. And then another one I always got to shout about too is St. John. Can't forget Sam. So anyways, I think that should be good on the shout outs there. Let's get on to looking at the albums here and what I kind of broke down. And I kind of just, I'm just going to go kind of in the order that I kind of wrote down the continents and what I thought. I don't know. I usually am pretty good alphabetizing or something. I didn't at all. So we're just going to go with what we got here on my notes, and that's how I ordered my records to show here. But like I said, I always like to try to make this very Beatle-centric whenever I do these type of challenges and that. And I did a fairly good job, I think, here on this. So we're going to start with Asia, and I'm going to show my copy of Concert for Bangladesh, George Harrison, but of course Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, Ringo Starr. So we got quite a bit on here. But yeah, anyways, Concert for Bangladesh for Asia. Bangladesh is in Asia, and this was a concert to benefit Asia. And I guess it could almost represent North America too, being that it was in New York City that it was done. But anyways, it's concert for Bangladesh, so it's going to be for Bangladesh on this, so in Asia. So I got this somewhat written down alphabetized because it seems like all the A's are starting out. But I got Africa next, and I'm going to show Band on the Run because, of course, this album was recorded in Lagos, Nigeria, in the continent of Africa. So, any Paul McCartney, Wings fan, Beatles fan should know that this album was recorded in Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria. So, there's Band on the Run for my Africa one. Like I said, I got it written down somewhat in order, but not really. So, we got North America up next. And I got thinking right away, this one hit me, but sometime in New York City. What a better way to represent North America than one of the greatest cities, a city that everybody around the world aspires to go visit. A massive city. The album title is Sometime in New York City. A lot of the music on here talks about American politics, United States politics, and different things that were going down at the time. There is also a song in here about the Irish struggle and that, so I guess we're getting over into Europe on that. But anyways, but yeah, and there is also a song on here just simply titled New York City. So I think this really represents North America well for the Beatles. And there we go. There's the North America entry there. So I do got South America written down next. And this one was a struggle. I had one for a long while, but Antarctica was a tricky one. And the one that I had for South America turned out also had one that would work for Antarctica. And I thought that was more important to find than being that it was going to be such a struggle to find some for Antarctica. So South America took a little bit of finding, and I really kind of had to stretch it. I kept thinking of different aspects on it. Got thinking, well, okay, Band on the Run was recorded in Lagos, Africa, Lagos, Nigeria, and Africa. So if we're going to do, it was recorded there, there's got to be a live album or something out there that was recorded somewhere in South America. And sure enough, I found on Tripping the Life Fantastic. This one is the highlights one. I don't have the main one on vinyl yet. But the song is on here anyway, even though it's the highlights. But The Long and Winding Road, I think it's the second track there. Yeah, that was recorded in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So there we go. South America there. And speaking of that tricky one, so we're on to Antarctica on how I got it listed here. Like I said, it was tough to figure out. I kept thinking what could be, because Chris did say to get creative. Think, outside the box on some of these. And he mentioned, do you think of snow or penguins or whatever? And right away I got thinking snow. I was thinking Help initially, because on the cover they're kind of in their skiing gear to go skiing in the Alps, which that would be Europe, not Antarctica, but they are in the snow and playing in the snow. And, you know, you think that about the film, you know, them skiing and, you know, doing all that stuff, the snowman and the, you know, everything. So that was where I was really kind of going for a while. And I'm like, no, I gotta find something a little better than that, a little better, because I think most people would think more Europe with that, with the Swiss Alps on that. I know that's usually where my mind goes with more than Antarctica just because of the snow. And then I was like, walrus, I am the walrus. No, they're North America. They're northern hemisphere, not southern hemisphere, so that won't work. So then I got thinking, well, climate change and the ice caps melting. The Beatles for sure have got to have a song on climate change. I know they got several. And yeah, sure enough, it hit me. Egypt Station. And Paul McCartney does have a song on here. There it is on side D, track 1. Despite repeated warnings, which does talk about the ice caps melting and the climate change and all that. So Egypt Station will be my entry for Antarctica. And I realized as I got writing this down, this is a triple one because the title of the album is Egypt Station. Egypt is in Africa. And initially my South America choice was going to be, where is it at? Back in Brazil, side C, song 2. That was originally what I was thinking for South America, and then I realized, oh no, despite repeated warnings, it makes more sense for Antarctica, and that's going to be trickier to find. I'm sure I could find something else for South America, so easier than I can find something for Antarctica. So there we go, Egypt Station. This could be a triple one. Another one that I kind of got a double on, and I wanted to try to include at least one of each of the Beatles. So initially, I was thinking for Europe, which will be up next. Initially, I was thinking this, somewhere in England, but I already had a George, so that's not going to be my entry for this one. And technically, within that entry for George, there was also Ringo was still part of that too, but anyways, this one's kind of a doubled up one though anyway, but the one I'm going to go to for Europe is Goodnight Vienna, Ringo Starr. So Goodnight Vienna, the title of the album, also the title of one of the tracks on here, the first track on side 1. And that is also written by John Lennon, and he performs with him on that. So I guess we got kind of a double Beatle aspect on that one then with that. But anyways, Goodnight Vienna is going to be my European entry there. We're almost there now. So next one up will be Australia on how I got it written. I guess the last one, technically. We do got a bonus that Chris did request, which I'll get to next year. But we're going to do Paul is Live on this one, representing Australia. And why is this one representing Australia? Well, like I said, Band on the Run was recorded in Africa. That's why I included that as Africa. Tripping Life Fantastic had a track on there recorded in South America and Brazil. So that's why I included that for South America. Well, this one has got 2 tracks that were recorded in Sydney, Australia. So and that would be the Here, There, and Everywhere. Where are you at? There we go. Yeah, and it even says it here on the back. On disc 2 there. Or side 2 of disc 1, I guess. Number 12, Here, There, and Everywhere, Sydney, Australia. And also, gotta find it. Yeah, side 3, so disc 2, starting off disc 2, track 1, Magical Mystery Tour, Sydney, Australia. And then the last one, not a continent, but a country. But Chris is from Canada, so he wanted to kind of include Canada into it. Kind of bring that in, and he asked to show a bonus of album that would represent Canada, whether there was an artist that's from Canada, a musician that's from Canada, a band from Canada, the cover on the album cover shot in Canada, the album pressed in Canada, whatever. Well, this was not only pressed in Canada, but it is a Canadian exclusive album. So this is Twist and Shout, when it came out right away at the height of Beatlemania there, and it's only available in Canada on this. And it really is just kind of a version of Please Please Me. Just looking at this, yeah, it's just completely out of order there. But yeah, Twist and Shout will be my Canadian one, Beatles Canadian album. So anyways, going to get wrapping it up here. There are my entries and my entry for the contest here, Chris. So yeah, do go check out Chris at Stylist Meets Vinyl. Great channel, great guy. Great contest going, so please go enter it too. If you got a channel, go enter that. Anybody at the beginning that I shouted out, maybe you guys might want to do an entry into this. If you don't have a channel, I believe you can go just write a comment on Chris's channel, on Chris's video, which I'll have linked in here too, on Stylist Meets Vinyl. and go just leave your comment there for him on that with your answers on that. But anyways, there is my entry, and I'm going to get signing out completely. And before I do that, I always want to thank my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel and the video. And like I always say, if you stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know your thoughts on my picks here. Let me know what you would pick, but also go leave that comment on Chris's channel there, Silas Meets Final. Go check that out in the description here. And anyways, I'm going to get fully signing out. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.